This episode of Off My Shelf contains coarse language and adult conversation. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, my name is Tracy James and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are well off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In this episode, Mike Suderman joins me in talking about the best way to squash some bugs with Starship Troopers. Would you like to know more? Welcome!
Hi, Starship Troopers and Starship Troopers 2. This is like you can't get more thematic two DVDs together. You know, uh,
It's
than
true.
that.
I mean, I was shocked when I was looking up the information for these two movies that there were more Starship Troopers movies, which I had not
Yeah,
heard about before.
there- there's
Um,
there's I think up to five
I
now.
I think there's five movies, and but I do remember there was the CGI animated TV show from the 90s as well.
Oh,
I did remember
I did
that.
not know there was a TV show. That's
Yeah.
cool.
It's called
Um,
what? Roughnecks or something?
okay.
Yeah.
What's fun is apparently Casper Van Dien in either 3 and 4 or 4 and 5. He stars in them. He's the executive producer. It's just like among other and the same writer. They got Ed Meyer to do
Uh-huh.
most to write most of them. So it's like way closer to this movie, with a Verhoeven, but like
Exactly. Wait, did the same guy write Starship Troopers 2?
no,
Okay.
Starship Troopers 2 is entirely different.
Okay.
It's
Good.
like the 4 and 5, like 3, 4, 5, where which I can see why maybe they didn't get the Starship Troopers 2 team back together.
Yeah, after watching that yesterday, I'm like, I know why this didn't go anywhere. Thank you.
I
Yes.
Yeah, I'd never seen it before. So
Okay.
thanks for that. That's just
Uh,
in my brain now.
you're welcome, and also I'm very sorry because
Yeah,
even
yep.
as I was watching it, I was just like, wait, what? Okay. I all of my notes essentially say I'm confused. That's all it
Yep.
says.
Uh,
So,
Wikipedia said it had a budget of $7 million,
yes.
which it's just straight. It was a straight to DVD. Like it
Well,
like I like low budget horror, and I like cheesy movies like this, and I was just like, yeah, there's not a lot redeeming about this, but yeah.
no, not at all. Well, this was the thing. I also looked up the budget because I was like, how much? Like, in my brain, I think it's just because a thing that doesn't exist anymore and it's not going to exist in the future because companies are not going to let it happen. But Starship Troopers was a sleeper hit slash oh my god, what's the term again?
Cult
Uh,
classic.
cult classic, right? So right now, lots of people know it, lots of people love it. It was great. And so I was like thinking that when I watched Starship Troopers 2, and I was like, what kind of budget did this movie have that it's so bad? $7
Hmm.
million compared to what, $106 million for the first one or something like that?
Something like that. But yeah, apparently, like they just
Yeah.
like the movie in release didn't work well, so they were just like, oh, it's a flop, and then
Hmm.
like not a lot of pro I don't know, by 2004 they didn't maybe think that there was enough of a sleeper hit kind of phenomenon that they could get something going, or maybe this is all the money that
They
anyone
had
was
left.
interested in putting the into the brand. Like,
Yeah. Well, I'm also actually really surprised based on the way Hollywood has been doing movies lately. Like they've been picking up a lot of cult classics, a lot of like nostalgia titles and all this kind of stuff and redoing them or just adding to the canon. And I'm really surprised Starship Troopers hasn't been hit yet, to be honest.
there's rumors that there's one in the works I was seeing online.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, and people were pointing to the redo of Total Recall, which nobody
Uh,
liked. Uh,
What?
um,
Wait. Okay. I know I'm known as a notorious hater, but I was completely fine with that movie. I was fine with it.
it's fine.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Total Recall, like it's fine. I would watch it and I'd be like, yeah, it was a fine movie. Bye,
Yeah.
forget. But
Yeah, I
like,
feel like if the movie was called like Steve Remembers Stuff and then they
yeah,
just played the movie, people would be like, "Oh my God, it's so good." But because it was
or
called Total Recall, people were mad about it.
or like the elevator that goes through the world. Like,
Yeah.
that's a cool thing.
It's a
Like,
cool
what?
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, why do you have to have the like latched on property and the fake memory stuff in there when you could just be like, this is a weird, like, Snowpiercer like dystopia where people commute through the center of the world
Yeah.
because they're not allowed to live near rich people. Like,
Yeah.
that could be a movie,
That
but
on its own. Yeah.
yeah, make that a movie. Don't put Total Recall in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the RoboCop remake was also I
Oh,
did
that
not
would.
see that one,
Oh,
but
you don't need to see that one.
exactly.
That
But
one I
so
agree with. That one was bad.
if if they do the third Verhoeven, you know, sci-fi masterpiece, then they'll probably do something around those two again.
Yeah,
Like,
but I feel like if they have like Guillermo del Toro or something, like I feel like it's
oh
gonna
yeah,
be very Pacific Rim style, and I
yeah,
would kind of be okay with that if they were like, no, here's some whacked out looking bugs. Here are some cool robot dudes and some cool army dudes. They're
oh
fighting.
yeah,
Yay, go for it.
yeah.
I
No,
would
no,
be
no.
fine with that.
If they got somebody, yeah, who had an idea or something to that they wanted to do with the property instead of just like, it's about time we remake Starship Troopers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
cheap IP right now. Let's buy it and let's do
exactly. Yeah,
something. Yeah.
it's still got a bit of a brand. It's so God forbid we name something that doesn't have a brand.
Right? I mean, that's the thing. I feel like there's so much energy in being creative, and Hollywood's like, no. We just want that one thing over and over and over again. And every once in a while, something comes out that is actually different, and they're just like, oh, you guys like this? Oh, we're not going to make other new things. We're just going to make that over and
Right.
over and over again. And
Yeah,
you're just
yeah, yeah.
like, you're getting the wrong idea about what's happening. Like,
Yeah.
make other things is what we're asking for.
Yeah, yeah. Which is
Yes.
like one of the reasons why horror is just a good genre that I like to get into because like there are still small movies in horror, like
That's
because
true.
you can have these weird sleeper hits, like um, the studio that started with Paranormal Behavior, and then
Okay.
just like made so much money that they just fund tons of tons of like
Is
wacky
that
stuff.
A24?
No, it's
No, something else?
it's this. It's not the Saw one, is it?
You know me, I don't really do horror that well. But even
Yeah,
I actually saw Paranormal Activity and I was just like, are people scared of this? Why are people scared of this? I was just more about the man gaslighting his wife that she saw
yeah.
ghosts and was making fun of her. That's what was pushing me over the edge. I was like, why did you marry her? You clearly don't like her. What are you guys doing? This is ridiculous. And plus she like made homemade jewelry and he did like stocks online and they owned a giant house and I was also jealous about that. Maybe I was just distracted about
Yeah.
their situation.
No, but I mean, like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff about like in that movie about just that, right? Like, it's not just the weird stuff. It's like, what the hell are these two people doing together, right? Like, so the
Yes.
voyeurism works for the audience there, where you're like, what the fuck? These are some weird people. Like, so and then it's like, oh, I can't wait to see how these weird people react to this super weird situation. I don't know. It's
And
Bloomhouse. I
spoiler
heard,
alert, not well. Okay.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
letting you guys
yeah,
know.
yeah. But yeah, Bloomhouse started because that movie made so much
Really?
money. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Um yeah, so they for a long time were just like very liberal with like, hey, do you want like we will fund a bunch of $5 million horror movies. And so it's
Yeah.
like, and a lot of them are bad, but that's
Hmm.
okay because they're just constantly making new ones and they're not like you're not betting your entire studio's budget on the fact that like the next superhero movie is going to make $1 billion. Otherwise, nobody like turns a profit because you spent
Yes.
so much on marketing and CGI. Like,
Hmm.
you can
Yeah.
just be like,
Yeah.
oh, I have 10 failed movies, but they didn't cost any very much. And The Conjuring is still cranking out them dollars. So,
Yeah. And it's two
yeah,
people in 1970s outfits that they got from like Goodwill just walking around going like, "Did you see the shadow?" And then you get on with it.
yeah,
And I'm like, I know
yeah,
there's some stuff with a mirror and like a doll looks at you weird and whatever, but
yeah,
essentially it's them sitting around talking and then spooky music. Like it's not too expensive to do.
yeah,
But I also feel like there is an art to the high concept movie that I think is being forgotten because right now when people think like sci-fi, they think, it's robots and it's these big space adventures and it's all of this stuff. And you're just like, a high concept movie doesn't have to be in space or expensive. It can be relatively inexpensive or,
yeah,
relatively like earthbound and it just makes you think. I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, uh like Safety Not Guaranteed, for example, was a really good example of that. It's a time travel movie. You're kind of confused about it. There's no giant special effects or anything, but it's really cool.
yeah,
One of my favorite movies was actually like I think it was on I think it's a Netflix movie, to be honest. And it's the history of future folk, and it's about this guy, well, he's an alien technically, but he just looks like a guy who comes to Earth, and is kind of like homeless and starts a weird indie band and has a cult following, but then stops a nuclear missile from going off. Like it's a weird thing. But it's really just like this guy with a
yeah,
bucket on his head and you follow him around town and he plays, folk music and then that's the movie. And I know it sounds lame, but it's really good to watch. Like it's really good. But you can
yeah,
make a inexpensive sci-fi high concept movie without it being all CGI and crazy stuff happening everywhere.
yeah. Like, I just looked up. Apparently, Snowpiercer had a budget of 40 million.
Hmm.
Which for a movie that's has active Captain America in it, like
Yeah.
is relatively low. And then Her, which is I would say pretty high concept, like not
Yeah.
like whack, but not wackier in space. 23 million budget. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, you can just because it's just people talking in slightly sci-fi-y,
Spaces. Yeah.
environments. Yeah, like it doesn't.
Oh.
You don't need a lot of CGI budget to just have Scarlett Johansson do voiceover, right? Like we have that
I
technology.
feel like I feel like if you have like a budget that's less than 50 million, but you have like a big star, like 40 million of that goes to your actors. Like
Oh
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
And the rest, the 10 million that's left over, you're just like, here's a really good lunch, paint a wall, we'll film here. Let's go. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like,
Um.
but I think
Yeah.
that
Or
was
like
also, yeah.
Moon was the
Oh, that was such a good movie. Yes,
yeah, but
Moon's a great one.
it was in space, but it was like a very small set and relatively like it had an idea rather than just like look at all this space stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and I think that's the one of the biggest problems with a lot of the big sci-fi movies right now, where because they're like, no, no, we have to wow the audience, I think is what every executive is saying. Like, we have to wow
Hmm.
them so they'll pay to wow them. But I'm like, yes, I understand it looks pretty, but why is it pretty? Like I don't see the point of looking at
Yeah.
this thing. And I think that's the thing that makes people mad at me all the time. Because they're just like, yeah, but it looks good, and did you see the design of this, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, but why was it there? Is my question. And they're just like,
You're
well,
just trying to relitigate my love of King of Monsters.
but the thing is like, me, I like a cheesy movie. Like I
Yeah,
love Pacific Rim, right?
right.
Technically, that's a movie that should not work. And I'm sorry, the acting in it, except for Idris Elba's "We Are Canceling the Apocalypse," not the greatest. But that
Right.
movie works. I will sit in front of it every day if I have to. I don't care. But they make it like a point, and you make it like you like the characters, and the robots and the monsters are cool, and you understand why robots are fighting monsters, and you're like, and here we go. I was like, okay, I'm down with this. But half the time they're like, okay, we want robots to fight monsters. You're like, why? It doesn't matter. People will watch it because robots are fighting monsters, and you're just like, will they? Oh god,
Yeah.
yeah. But you know me. I'm a glutton for
Yeah.
punishment. I'll pay for it and then bitch about it the whole time. It's fine.
It just adds to the amount of um like the breadth of knowledge, and so many more angles of attack you can put onto a movie. It's like every time you see another bad movie, you can be like,
Yes,
this is another arrow in my quiver to roast the next bad movie.
exactly.
You're
I'm
becoming
sorry.
more powerful.
If you have a storytelling medium and you don't storytelling visual medium and you don't use the visuals and you don't tell a story, I get mad. That's all I'm saying. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's fine. It's fine. I have
This
reasons to dislike things, people. I don't just hate things on purpose.
this movie you know, had visuals and used them to tell a story. And then I think,
The Starship Troopers, yes. Starship Troopers 2, no. Different.
oh,
Yeah.
just,
I
okay. So
like, yeah. Sorry, go
it's,
ahead.
well, I mean, we were talking about like remakes and hijacking stuff. Like 100% as I was watching Starship Troopers 2, I'm like, this is just like it would have been a Black Mirror episode if like it was a script that had in no way needed to be in the Troopers universe. It didn't
No.
use anything especially from it. It's just like the beginning and the end. They do little nods to the universe, but
Yeah.
like it's just a like a the thing. We're stuck in here with somebody we can't trust. Like,
Hmm.
you know, that's been done a million times, and it's not a very good one. But like, it doesn't need Starship Troopers. It's just so
Yeah.
probably it was just like a random script, and they're like, you know, in 2004, they're like, oh, nobody's gonna watch this unless we put a brand on it, and then it's
Yeah.
like, it is now a
Yeah.
Starship Troopers.
And you're just like, now you've ruined it. Like, why would you do this? This is, but it's also a completely different genre of movies.
Yep.
Like it's a flat out, well, it wants to be a horror movie
Yeah.
that just happens to take place in space, I think. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
planet they're on. I don't know what they're doing. And there happens to be a thing there. Sure. Yeah, you did mention the thing already. So, you know.
Yeah.
It's the same, it's just done badly. Like really,
Yeah.
really badly. And it was just tiring to watch. Like the movie I think is like
90
80,
minutes.
is it a full 90 minutes? It felt like
I
eight
think with credits
hours.
and stuff. Yeah, no, it was exhausting. I was
Yeah.
like watching it and I'm just like, how much longer is in this movie? The one uh thing I was enjoying was because so the badass lady sergeant
Mm-hmm.
who is played by the captain from the first one,
Yeah.
uh uh she like I kept expecting her to like die or them to make like a lesbian joke that like a direct one, not all the
Yeah.
implications that they were making, but like all the stuff, and then she just continued being badass. They just let her be badass the whole movie, and I was like, all right, you know,
Yeah.
good.
Nobody,
Like,
yeah, nobody tried to stop her from being badass because you know how like a lot of these
yeah,
movies they like try to like shut down the woman so like she sits and is quiet in the corner and they're like, no, no, you do you, and she's
yeah,
great. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. They had the psychic pregnant scared lady to do all
Why
of
was
that
she
too,
pregnant? I don't understand why she was pregnant.
because she has to be looking towards the future, and also the movie is entirely about aliens impregnating humans. So like, yeah,
Yeah, because so she got her power from being pregnant, and the aliens got their power from impregnating humans.
yeah, it's you know, it's just parallelism without like a real big
Points
idea
to
behind
it.
it. Yeah,
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 yeah.
exactly.
Because
You
I
know,
was because
there's a little bit of the like which species is going to be able to outpopulate the other one. Like,
Hmm.
oh, all these bug babies die versus this human baby is born, so we can put him in the meat grinder. The guy says at
Yeah.
the
Also, that baby at the end, I was like, ugh.
end.
I'm sorry. That was one ugly baby with a giant head. That's all I have to
That
say.
baby had been through so much trauma even before it was out of the womb. It is a combat veteran.
And it's like I saved the world by giving you visions. I was in combat,
Yeah,
and now
cut
you're
cut
making fun of me. I'm like,
cut the
yes.
baby a little break for having like a weird big head with its giant psychic powers inside.
No,
Um,
it was so wrong. I was like, what is happening here? Yeah.
the other thing that was really funny was when the Sarge again badass sergeant lady tells her that she's pregnant,
Yeah.
which I don't think she knows anything except that she intuits it. Like I don't think we get information about how she knows.
No,
Um,
there's no information at all. There was no indication that like the girl who's pregnant, she never mentioned having a boyfriend at home or, seeing
well,
somebody.
wasn't she banging the one of the guys and then he broke up with her
No, that
to
wasn't
be
that. Oh, that's
I
right. Oh yeah, and then the blonde girl comes there and like makes
yeah
out and then she runs away. Oh
yeah
yeah, okay, that explains it now. All right.
yeah.
I honestly thought it was
Oh, I
no,
lost track
no,
of them
wasn't
most of
sorry,
the time.
wasn't it the Asian girl that was the one who ran away?
It could have been. I don't know. I lost track of them, but I thought they
Okay.
were the same. Maybe they weren't.
No, because the reason why I think it's the Asian lady is because she ran away, she was outside, and then the guy who was like the medic or whatever was nice to her, so she's like, "Hey, let's make out," and that's when she got the thing.
Yeah. No, you're
Yeah,
right. You're right. Never mind.
yeah.
Sorry,
Um,
I gave the film too much credit.
yeah, I was.
No, you know what? It probably wasn't even that. I was just trying to figure out how to tie the events from the beginning of the movie to the middle of the movie and the end of the movie, and
Yeah.
so I had to force the scenes into some sort of coherent story in my mind, just in order to.
Don't give the audience false hope. There's no coherent story here, guys. There
Yeah.
isn't.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. It Oh, the one other thing about the baby is so yeah, the sergeant, she's like, "Hey, you know what happens uh people when women get pregnant, they think they know everything. You're
Oh
and
God.
then right, but then she takes a big drag off her cigar, blows it directly at the camera, which is supposed to be where this pregnant woman is. But when they switch to the reverse shot, there's no, they clearly didn't do the smoke, which is obvious. But like, she was like, "Hey, you're pregnant. Here is a bunch of tobacco smoke." Like,
I feel like it's one of those like, let me help you with your problem, you know?
yeah. No,
Yeah.
but it was just really funny to be like, "Hey, pregnant ladies aren't supposed to smoke. Let me blow up this cigar tar into your face as I'm informing you that you're pregnant." Um,
Oh my God. Yeah,
yeah.
that may have happened when I looked at my phone at some point in
Oh,
time, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I spent the whole movie just confused as to what was going on. Like
Hmm.
the movie starts in the middle of a battle, which is fine technically,
Yep.
but you have no reason why the people are there. A ship's not coming to pick them up. They're screwed. And for some reason, the corporal or captain or whoever it is just like, I'm gonna stay here with three people,
The
and you guys
general.
go
Yeah.
the general, and you guys go over there, and you're just like, but why are you staying there?
I looked it up on Wikipedia because I didn't know either.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing doesn't make sense. Like, but according to Wikipedia at least, he was holding a famous last stand which would distract the bugs so that they could make it to the shelter safely. So I think that that's what they were mumbling through that really badly mixed audio.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was, because all I can think, I'm like, if there's a clear path out, just go that way. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
just go.
Well, but also, okay, the entire movie, and I try not to be the like, there's a plot hole, whatever. But the entire movie is about them trying to infect the general. But the first thing they do is walk the general back to all the Marines, like
Correct.
instead of just
Yes.
infecting it. Like
Yeah.
they're, uh, yeah, none of
Well,
it makes
and
sense.
but that's the thing. When you find out the people are infected, I had just assumed when the general got back that he was already infected. And then you find out
Right?
later on, no, she's in the middle of infecting him right now.
Yeah,
And for some reason, that requires her to be naked on screen for some reason. But,
she's got to. It's the only way to get close to men.
yes.
It's this. She had fantastic hair for being in a war zone. You know,
She
Ugh.
did.
Maintained
I
a lot of actually really good grooming. Now that since we can examine
like,
basically all of it.
but that's the thing. I mean, like, wouldn't you be worried that, like, yes, I know she was tired because one of the other people explains that she's like, oh, she was super tired. That's why she could sleep through a battle. And I was like,
Yeah,
I feel, I feel like no matter how tired you were, like, if you were so tired you could sleep through a battle, that means you're dead. You're not alive. You have died from lack of sleep, not like, oh, I've just got to sleep some more, and when I wake up, I'll yawn and stretch, and everything will be okay.
it's
Like,
it's okay. I'm a medic. You can trust me that this is totally normal.
yeah,
But
I was like,
but
what is
it sets
happening?
up so that is indeed incredibly dumb. But the fact that they have to go to sleep to get infected, like to allow the alien infection to go through, leads to one of my favorite scenes of the movie where the alien like or the infected human like looks back and sees a syringe and then gets on all fours staring very closely at it and then just follows a trail of syringes until the sergeant who has apparently shot herself up with like 20 doses of amphetamines and is standing directly over this infected human who was brilliant and attacking her moments ago.
Yeah,
But now she can't notice that she's standing in the middle of the room
yeah.
over.
Like, people have to understand. This is not like she followed these syringes around a corner into like
Nope.
another room or anything. No, this was pretend you're at your desk and beside you is a chair. And instead of just looking at the chair, you looked at your desk, you looked at the ground, got on your hands and knees, moved over to the chair, and then was like, "Oh my God, there's a chair!" Like it was very weird. It was
and but
very weird.
but it allowed her to make the surprise attack and then save the disgraced captain and then be able to shoot herself in the head before she became an alien.
Yes,
She
yeah.
was 100% the only reason why I kept watching. Like I probably would have turned it
I was like, she's
on.
gonna do something, right? She's
Yeah.
she's got to do something. Okay, she's gonna do something. That's great. But also, they never figured out why the disgraced captain killed his colonel. Like at one point in time, like somebody asked, and he's like, "That's for like another." He says like, "There's that's for another time, or for you to find out, or
Yeah.
something." And I was like, "Wait, was your colonel acting weird like these guys? So you shot him, and everybody thought you were a murderer?" Is that what happened? Could you have
And
just
it's
said that
it's
and made
definitely
that easy
implied.
for everybody else?
There's like just enough like ambiguity where it could be that he literally did kill his officer for getting too many of his people killed, but
Hmm.
like but yeah, the clear line is that yeah, he was the first one to encounter the first infected dude and then he killed them. But then that's why I was surprised that he didn't recognize any of the signs of infected people. Like
Exactly.
he didn't have any knowledge about that, but it did seem like he was locked in there for killing somebody who was acting out of character. Uh, anyway, weird.
Agreed. I don't like. I feel this is again one of those movies that with very simple fixes would work just
Yeah,
fine, even at
yeah.
this bad budget level. Because,
Oh, for
like,
sure.
if you fix the story issues, you get over the cheesy graphics,
Yeah,
right? Like, give them a reason why the general is separated. Like, they're running and they get cut off or something, and the bugs separate them, and they're like, just keep going or something. And then
right.
they get over there and they're trying to fix stuff or whatever, and you find the guy in the thing and he's just like, Like make him a little bit more suspicious as what's going on. And then the people show up and then you're just like that guy's acting weird. I remember when my colonel was doing something weird. You should have picked up on it earlier. Give like hints. Just sprinkle stuff in there. Have them,
Yeah.
but also have the people have like normal dialogue. Like they
Yeah.
they like all of them sounded like they had never spoken to another human being before, and I was very
Mm.
confused by that as well.
I
So,
almost wonder like if it was a miking issue or something. Like they were like, "Oh yeah, our mics are bad, so you just have to talk like an alien in order to be picked up correctly."
yeah,
I don't know. Like it was so consistent across all the different actors.
yeah. Yeah,
It's
and I
so
was trying to
weird.
figure out like why were you directed in this way? Like it just
Yeah.
didn't make sense to me. And the
No.
thing is too is like we're talking in general about like the general and this captain and all this kind of stuff. But I'm like if you see them, you know who they are. Like these people are people that are the people in stuff. They're
Yeah.
all that guys. But you're just like, but you've done better things in bigger movies or better TV shows. It kept making me think like, why are you here? Is
I'm looking up what uh the director is known for. And he did the visual effects in Starship Troopers. So and RoboCop. He was Verhoeven's guy for a while.
oh
So he was like
seriously?
a big visual effects person. I just don't think he ever figured out how to direct a movie.
Oh, and also, oh no, I thought that said Mad Max. No, it's Mad God. Totally different. Visual effects on Jurassic Park as well.
Yeah.
But he also did the Twilight movies as well.
Listen, everybody's gonna make that bad.
Yeah. Oh, Dragonheart, Tremors. Oh, I should have looked this stuff up before. Willow,
Yeah,
Howard
he was
the Duck. Oh
so
my God.
I take that back. Starship Troopers 2, like even though they got a tiny budget, like they did basically bring back the team. They got Ed Meyer, and they got the visual effects guy from Starship Troopers to do this movie. So
You,
like,
sorry, you didn't scroll down far enough. He did the stop motion animation for Star Wars: A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
whoa,
What?
whoa.
And Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. What? This is crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Temple of Doom, he was just an executive creative consultant with
Okay,
ILM.
never mind. Okay, never mind.
And Dragon
But
Slayer, his title was just Dragon Supervisor. Can you imagine being able to put that on your resume? I was a Dragon Supervisor.
I'd be like, yeah, and I was a mage spell writer. I don't understand what your problem is. It's fine.
That's awesome.
But holy shit. And yeah, I guess this is why did he not direct anything else? He directed seven things. Let's see. Something called Mad Dog, God, part one, two, and three. And then Mutant Land, Starship Troopers 2, and Prehistoric Beast. I don't know.
Mad God is the really messed up right? Like I think tons of people. It's like one of those ones that I have not seen it yet, but my understanding was it
Okay.
was um
So I clicked on it,
oh yeah,
and on the poster just says Phil Tippett is a master.
yeah,
That's a quote.
yeah,
And the description is the assassin travels through a nightmare underworld of tortured souls, ruined cities, and wretched monstrosities forged from a primordial horrors of the unconscious mind of Phil Tippett, the world's
yeah,
preeminent stop motion animator.
yeah. It's like a bunch of just stop motion like scenes and stuff, and like it's just an exhibit for making uh
Okay.
cool
So
stop motion.
do you want to know who gave the quote that Phil Tippett is a master?
Phil Tippett?
Yeah. It was not him. It was Guillermo del Toro. So
Yeah,
FYI.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean like in terms of doing special effects, it's obvious that and specifically stop motion in camera special effects, um,
Mhm.
he is amazing. But
He just shouldn't direct movies.
just humans, yeah, humans. I think
Yes.
it's not maybe his, or maybe he was going through it in 2004. I don't know, but like,
Maybe. But also as a master of like stop motion and visual effects. And I know the movie had a small budget. I would think he would be able to do so much better than what was done
mm,
in this movie. But
yeah, I
that
don't know.
also kind of explains why the blood splatter was pretty good
Yeah.
in
And
it.
like I like the design of the creature, like the alien that split into tiny extra babies. Like that was cool. Yeah, it was animated, not great,
Poorly, yes.
yeah, more it was just like not, uh or at least I felt that it just looked like it didn't exist in the same space as the rest of the actors, but like,
Hmm.
they squirmed and it made me like, ew, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So
I
so
I
like,
will I will admit that one scene when he like stepped on it and killed it, but then like the baby's
yeah,
like detached. I was like, oh my God, no. I was
yeah,
just like, mm,
like
that is
so
not right.
so yeah, there's some cool stuff in there. It's just, yeah, it stands out like bad aught CGI, but yeah.
Yeah. But again, if the story worked, it would
Right,
I would have gotten over it. It would have just been
100%.
fine.
Yeah. But instead, you're like, okay, why have I been slogging through these horrible scenes with these bad actors? And then, and it's like, oh, to see this monster. And it's like, okay, yeah, it was pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
I
And
could have just fast
then
forwarded.
yeah, and then the monster's gone, and then you're just like, why am I still looking at this? This is
Yeah.
my real question, you know?
Yeah.
But but I think now that we've talked about the monstrosity that is Starship Troopers 2,
Yeah.
I feel like we should go back to its namesake, Starship Troopers. And I will admit, when I first saw this movie, I saw this movie in theater. I probably have my ticket stub somewhere. I will not be surprised if I do. I did not like this movie when I first saw it.
Yeah.
And I think it mostly had to do with it did not fit a narrative I was used to for like sci-fi movies, right?
Hmm.
And then literally the second time I watched it, it was like on TV like years later or something, and I watched it and I was like, "No, this is a fucking good movie. What was I talking about? This is great."
Hmm.
And I think it's because it is so subversive, you know, like it's war propaganda by showing you how bad war is, but also it's not on Earth, so you don't feel so bad because they're just killing bugs mercilessly. It's okay.
Yeah, there's one
Um,
throwaway line where it's like, actually, humans totally encroached on their territory, and that's when the attack started. Like,
yeah,
it's like, oh, this is like, are we the baddies? Like we started this war apparently.
it's our fault. Yeah, but we're gonna end it. We're like,
Yeah,
should
yep.
we though? Like, I mean, I feel. I mean, do I want to get eaten by bugs? No.
Mm.
But do they kind of have a right to? Because we were jerks about it, kind of. I don't know. But that's just me. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, they
Yes,
they eat a fair number of people, including half of Michael Ironside. So
that
that's
is
random.
true. Hmm.
So they get theirs.
I also feel like he didn't need to. Like, I know he asks to be shot, just
Yeah.
get it over with. But earlier in the movie, we saw a guy with no legs live just fine, and you can
Yeah.
get robot appendages. So I'm like, they already have him. Just drag him away, and he would have lived.
Yeah. They got
Unlike
like
Dizzy, but like
weird, yeah, like magical regrowing limbs technology in, the fish, the like rejuvenation tub, and they got robot parts. Yeah, he was remarkably intact for
yeah,
that scene, which is
yeah,
so funny.
yeah. He had no holes in his vital organs.
Yeah.
And so I was like, no, you could live. It would be fine. But no, they
Yep.
were like, he's like, you know what to do. And imagine he
Well,
didn't mean like shoot me.
and yeah, yeah. but like yeah, ultimately, well, okay, yeah, here's the dark reading. Okay,
Yeah.
we uh we know that it's got to become Rico's Roughnecks by the end of the movie. So
Mm-hmm.
if if maybe this was Rico just taking out the old man so he could take his job.
It's like Chronicles of Riddick, you keep what you kill kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like, that's it.
yeah, yeah.
Because to be honest, like, I don't understand why the rest of the team would follow him anyways. Like Rico, like I know he showed up and I know he blew up that one big bug, fine. But he was doing the exact same thing as everybody else.
Yep.
So why are they following him all of a sudden? Like it just
So okay, I I read the reread the book
okay.
again for this. Also, do not recommend. It's like there's some difference. I was shocked at how much of the plot is kind of beat for beat.
Hmm.
And so but like one of the things they cut out is between Rico becoming sergeant and then becoming a lieutenant, he like spends like 40 pages at officer school. Like he just
Yeah.
goes to school and like
Learn
they
some stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and there's another like uh militaristic right wing screed that he writes down verbatim from his like moral philosophy teacher, and then he people start following him at some point in the future. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, he goes to school. He is told he's at a higher level. He writes like a test or whatever and passes.
yeah.
He gets his upgrade, and then they give him a team, and those people follow him, and you're like, okay, cool.
But I would not have liked this movie more if it's like ground to a screeching halt after Planet P to be like, okay, now we have to go back um to the school thing and have more people yell at him
Yeah,
like
yeah.
before
Well,
we get the brain bug.
I know the movie does carry over the cynicism from the book. I listened to the book on tape, not the. I didn't physically
Oh
read
yeah.
it. I actually, when
Ah,
I was
that's reading.
listening to it, I don't know if maybe it was just like the guy reading it or what, but I I liked it. I actually thought the book was good.
Hmm.
I was more interested in the differences in the book than the
Yep.
movie. And like you, I can see why they made those changes. Yes, having him
Hmm.
go to like, captain school or whatever
Yeah.
and spend 20 minutes of him like writing a test and all this kind of stuff like, "Yay, I'm captain and now I have a team." I get it. I get it,
Yeah.
right? But it surprisingly took out even more cynicism from the book. For example, essentially all of the mobile interest infantry are drug addicts because they have them drugged up all the time.
Yeah. Drugged up and
They're
hypnotized.
and hypnotized.
the
They
the last scene, like the last battle where it turns out that every superior officer can just like knock out the soldiers below them with a hypnotic suggestion, like
Yeah,
is totally freaky.
yeah. You're just like, "Oh, you want to protect yourself? Just do a thing and you can just run away. It's fine."
Yeah,
But the thing is too is like in the movie, for example, they go to the planet, they're suited up and everything, but they're in a ship, it takes them down, they run out.
yeah,
In the book, they're shot out of a moving ship like
yeah.
missiles, and then they have to do whatever they have to do.
The
And
long
you're just like, what?
explanation of like, okay, then this like layer of the capsule burns off and does this thing, and then this
Yeah.
one burns off. Doesn't like that's like teenage Mike
Yeah.
sci-fi crack. I'm just like,
Yes.
yes, tell me more about exactly how this thing works.
Yeah. And don't they have like aren't they in like robotic suits essentially that are like powered and stuff?
Yeah, I think if this book didn't basically invent powered armor that like moves forward in all of like the second half of the 2000s sci-fi,
Yeah.
then it certainly popularized it. But yeah, just the like Warhammer Space Marines are basically the guys that are in this book. Like they're all
Yes.
a weird like in a fully powered sealed suit with like covered in bombs and rockets and like
Mm.
flamethrowers on their hands. Like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
yeah.
And also, I think in the book too, they segregate the men and the women
Yep.
because they don't want people getting together, having sex, and then knocking people out because they're pregnant or whatever. Like they didn't want any of that. They're like, no, no, you guys are completely separate. The chicks have a job. You guys have a job. You'll
Yeah.
see each other
Yeah.
every once in a while, and that'll encourage you. This will let you see what you're fighting for, so you can pass each other
Yeah.
in the halls. But you're not allowed to like interact technically. And I was like, what? This
Yeah,
is
the
crazy.
long explanation of him being embarrassed the first time he's in the officer's mess and he was supposed to like pull out the lady captain's chair and he
Yeah.
didn't. And like
Mhm.
he spends a lot of time on that. Like dude, chill out.
It's like
But yeah, like
relax, relax. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's really weird about like gender because it's like all the captains and pilots are ladies because they have better reaction speed. So there's like a thing in them mobile infantry that if you don't have a lady pilot, you're probably gonna die. What like
Jeez.
what kind of weirdness stuff is that? Like there are no women in the mobile infantry at all, unlike in
Mhm.
this movie. And yeah, Dizzy Flores is in it. It's just a man.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, none of the it's not even quite a love triangle. It's a love parallelogram kind of thing. None of that exists. That's like typical ad Hollywood. We need a love interest added
There
because
has to be
the
a love story, else what's the point? I'm like,
right
oh,
and
yeah.
the with Heinlein, he's like the a love story would just take away space from another ethics and moral philosophy
Mhm.
lecture that I can just write into the
But
thing
I
about
think,
like exactly how I feel about politics.
yeah, but I think that's kind of what I liked about the book was that I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
they don't have the stupid love story in there. They do
Right.
have like the bugs do destroy Buenos Aires, but like his
Yeah.
father lives, and because the fathers they still had to fight with the father at the beginning, but later on as there's like a way station they're at and he bumps into his dad who has joined the mobile infantry and he's
Yeah.
like proud and his dad's like, well, your mom died, so now I'm doing this and I understand why you do it now, son. And when he gets the validation that he wants from it,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
was good.
The dad is like, um, I was always too scared, and it was seeing you go into the mobile infantry that made me realize that's what being a man really meant.
Yeah, I know. We talk about the toxic masculinity of it,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because in the book they do a lot of like this is what makes you a man. That's how you're a
Yep.
man. That you this is the only way to be a man and you're just like you need to calm down, guys.
It,
Like
it it's literally dedicated to just all sergeants who turn boys into men. Like
is it really?
I think
Oh my
so.
god. Oh
Let
my
me
god.
pull up my version. Uh, uh, to Sarge or author Arthur George Smith, soldier, citizen, scientist, and to all sergeants, anyone who have labored to make men out of boys. That's the acknowledgement.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, yeah. There's and it is like not. Uh, it is very clear that it's like, oh, mom explodes, but it's dad who could come to a realization. Carmen Ibanez is in one scene, um,
Yeah.
like, and mostly it's about him, like being like, I like to look at women from afar, so that I remember why I go down in
That's
this weird
oh yeah,
capsule
I
and kill
remember
people.
that scene. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because I was like, I know she's in it, but she's not like a plot point in the
yeah,
book.
yeah.
Yes.
They go
Okay.
on one date when they're on R&R. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. I don't know. Like I feel like people who see the movie first and they like it because they're like, yeah, they're kicking ass and there's like a little, there's sex and whatever. They'll
Oh
read
yeah.
the book and they'll be like, the fuck is this nonsense,
Yep.
right? But I think people who read the book first, you see the movie and you're like, I understand why you made these changes,
Mm.
and this still works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The yeah, you were saying like the first time you saw it, you didn't like it because you were it wasn't what you were expecting, and I think
Hmm.
that seems to be the what critics thought about it at the time too. They were
Yeah.
like, "What the hell is this?" But then, as you said at the top, it became a sleeper hit because people it started to dawn on people
Yeah.
that
That it's
it actually
also,
was a satire.
yes, that it's a
Um,
satire. That's the thing.
yeah,
People are just like, because you're like, I think a lot of critics were like, is this some kind of joke? What is it supposed to be? And you're like,
yeah,
yes, it is a joke. This is the point.
yo,
And people just didn't get it. Because
yeah, yeah.
I think too, visually, it comes across very serious if
I
you are
except
not.
it's like they have the soldiers handing out bullets to kids in like the first 2 minutes. Like I don't get how anybody thought it was serious or genuine.
Okay,
Like
but you have to realize the way movies and TV shows are
yeah,
made now, there is this layer of sarcasm to almost everything that's out there, right?
yeah,
They purposefully make this sort of like twisted version of things that you're just like, why would you ever do this? But I feel like in 1997, that's not a thing that was done. So people were just like,
maybe not as much.
no,
We weren't quite as irony poisoned because the internet was still nascent.
well, yeah, that may actually be the real issue here, right?
Yeah,
It's now we're just so overwrought with it that it's so clear now. But at the time, we're like, are they making a sarcastic movie? Like,
right.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
Verhoeven was looking around in 1997, the Democratic Party sliding right and the Republican misinformation machine spinning up, and he was like, "Oh, you're gonna elect fascist in like 20 years," and then
Yeah,
made that movie, and then he
yeah,
was like, "All right, I'm out. I'm going back to Europe."
yeah.
Like, but he knew more than he knew about Donald Trump before anybody else did.
Exactly, right? And this is the kind of thing that really shows it. You know, like there's the one part where they're just like a murderer was convicted today.
Yeah,
Execution on all channels at 6 or something like that. And I was just like, the fuck? Because that's sort
yeah.
of like a
Yeah, he was
middle
arrested
age,
yesterday, convicted today, and then the sentencing would be yeah, tonight at
in that
6.
afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, but that's also like, yes, it's all like it's like a reflection of this like crazy society of the future, but that kind of thing was something that happened in like the Middle Ages where they catch somebody, they're
Oh,
guilty,
yeah.
and the whole town comes out and watches him get killed. Like that was the thing.
17, 1800s still, like they were doing it.
Yeah.
They apparently for a little while in France, the crowds at public executions. This is just a funny story I heard. I have no idea if it's factual. I'm going to repeat it because I think it's funny. Is that the crowds at public executions were so big that they had to bring so many police to, manage a crowd that size while the execution was happening. People would just be like, "Oh, there's an execution happening. I'm going to go rob the police station." It
Oh,
wasn't exactly police, like
yeah.
proto police, whatever. But like, yeah, they're like, there's not enough police. Like I'm gonna go to their station and rob it because they have to have everybody out here because these
These
executions
crowds
are
are too
so
big.
popular.
Yeah.
There was counter protests and stuff like that. Like
Hmm.
there was uh plenty of reasons other than just like being a looky loo at an execution, but
Yeah. Which is
they were
nuts.
public events. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently the last execution by guillotine was in the 70s. It was like after Star Wars came out.
Hmm, hmm.
Which I
Yeah.
think, like, I think about it, like, I think of a guillotine. I'm like, no, no, that's like Marie Antoinette and stuff. That's
Yeah.
not quote unquote
Right.
modern times. I'm like, what do you mean the last guillotine happened after Star Wars came out? That seems nuts,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like
nuts.
execution methods are weird. Like if you have a death penalty, like the fact that they have to do all these weird things with like a specific kind of lethal injection or like the
Hmm.
electric chair, which was not, which
Which
was
was
just
not
a
good.
torture device.
Yeah.
But like, all these different things. So like, yeah, if you've got something that works, I'd like, again, I don't think the death penalty is good, but I could see an organization being like, well, this is the way we've done it. And I guess we're just going to keep doing it because anytime we try to change it, but still want to kill people, there's all this outcry. So we'll just be quiet and continue killing people, and
Yeah.
maybe it won't quite notice. But yeah, I don't know.
Look, until there is an alien invasion, we are just going to keep killing each other. But when the
Yeah,
aliens come, we'll have a focus and we'll just put everything together and kill the aliens. It'll be fine. It'll be
just
fine.
like in Watchmen, right? The
Correct.
alien thing brought the East or Russia and America together, ended the Cold War
Yes.
because they thought it was an alien. Yeah.
Everything ends. Yep.
Though, yeah. Speaking of the other weird, like punishments and stuff, in the book, there's like a throwaway line about the fact that Delaware, at the time of it was being written in the late 50s, still had like flogging by whip as a potential like criminal punishment that was approved by the state. Uh,
Like,
and
wait, in the book or in real life?
no, in real life, Delaware had that law still in the books when he was writing the book. So in the book, he says that Delaware still has this law. The law was, I think, abolished in the 70s or something.
Yeah.
Again, that kind of thing. But like, yeah, at and again, I couldn't find when the last one that was actually like carried out was.
Hmm.
But like theoretically, it would be possible to have fucking Rico administrative punishment scene in Delaware the year this book came in. Like
That
that's
seems
fucked up.
crazy.
Yeah,
Uh, Apparently the last whipping administered under court order in Delaware occurred in 1952.
there we go. So it would have happened in the same decade uh, that um, Highline was writing.
And it was formally abolished in 1972. So the
Yeah,
last one happened, but they didn't get rid of the law for
they
20
didn't get it off the
years.
books. Yeah,
Yeah. Huh. Oh, the whipping post was often referred to as Red Hannah or Old Susan. Why do ladies have to be involved in this?
because everything fascist is about gender.
Oh God. Oh God, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Okay. That was like when I found out what rule of thumb was, and I was like, I can't, don't ever use this term with me anymore. I can't do it. It's horrible.
Yeah, I've only ever heard it from the Boondock Saints. I have
Uh-huh.
not looked it up further, whether that was factual or not. But
Apparently it is factual.
gross.
And no doubt has a line in a song about it. It's great.
Ooh,
It's great. Yeah. Uh, oh, for people who don't know, rule of thumb comes from a practice where you're allowed to beat your wife as long as what you hit her with was not wider than your thumb. Like a husband's thumb. There you go. Done.
yeah, not a child's.
No. Yeah. It's so like I mean, if you were a husband and you had big hands and you had a really wide thumb, you could hit her with some really big things. So that sounds perverted and cruel at the same time. I apologize.
I, yeah, it's people were fucked up, and
Yeah.
certainly the book elements of it advocate for a return to that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
that's
Well, I
messed up.
mean, like you would think the flogging scene in the movie wouldn't have been in the book, but I wasn't surprised it was also in the book. But as you
Yeah.
mentioned, he brings up the Delaware thing in there, and that's probably why it was in the movie as well, because they're like, no, we have to show that there is punishments for these things, you know?
Well, but also like I think uh, what's also messed up about it is that like it shows that these fascists will just like these uh soldiers like in the army, these proto citizens and the citizens who run the army, um like they'll just take care of justice in their own way, and not involve like any kind of civilian area. Like, it wasn't really a court martial. Maybe it was legally, but like they were just like, no, we can just beat the shit out of him and
Yeah.
then continue to turn him into a killer because that
Mhm.
would be preferable for our like end goals. Is we need to turn this uh, um, square jawed rich boy into a single minded killing machine.
Yeah. But also they also make it's not something that's done quietly. Like they make all of the other
Yeah.
soldiers watch and be like, this is the shit that happens when you get out of line. So
Oh
you
yeah.
better do
Yep.
what we tell you to, or else you end up here or worse. Who knows, right?
Yeah. No, the publicizing of punishments is also a subject of one of those um whatever lectures about moral philosophy in the book, where it's like
Yeah.
one must always show the punishments. There's like a really long and awkward thing about it when you're housebreaking a dog. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's like,
Ugh.
yeah, people are
Yes.
just dogs. It's fine.
I
Everything's fine.
know.
One thing I didn't realize when I was looking it up was that uh, like before the war, Heinlein had been like kind of a liberal. He had like joined a couple of socialist organizations and stuff. So
Hmm.
it's just I hadn't realized he had started there, swung right, because I knew like later he kind of mellowed out after Starship Troopers, but like I didn't realize he had already kind of uh swung right. I thought that he had just started there, but
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, reading the book, you clearly see what his politics are. But yeah, I didn't really do I had heard stuff about the writer. I hadn't really looked into it.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, like it's I feel like it's also one of those books like Fight Club and stuff where the wrong people get the wrong idea from it, you
yes,
know? They're like, no, no, he's clearly showing how our society should run because, we shouldn't just let anybody be a citizen. It's got to be for reasons and you
yep,
have to fight and you have to do this and
hmm.
blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you have to realize that's not what he's saying in it. You know this, right?
Except like I think he kind of is like some of
You
that.
think he
Like
is?
he's making it problematic. Like he does show the horrors of war. Like that was another thing that kind of surprised me. That was how carelessly the mobile infantry threw their lives away the same way that they did in the movie. I thought that
Mm-hmm.
was part of the satire. But like, yeah, I mean, he's just having all these philosophers explain why their society is the only one that will work and why um like it exists and it has been so peaceful is because they rule with this iron fist and like I think he's like, you may not like it, but this is how the world is. Like,
Yeah.
there's a line that's very close to facts don't care about your feelings. I can't remember. It was something like, yeah, like anything else is utopian wishfulness or something like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, even if like you think about a utopia, like even in a every vision of a utopia that I've read or seen on TV, any vision of a future, whatever, even if it's not ruled with a high iron fist, there is still some sort of class system, right? Because you can't have a perfect world for everybody. And I think that's one of the things he's pointing out as well. It's to protect his quote unquote perfect world. Somebody has to die and do these horrible things and all this
yeah,
kind of stuff.
absolutely.
To
It's
and
it's
then
it's
yeah,
it's that meme of like there's a kid sleeping or whatever, and there's a army dude leaning over him and blocking all the arrows and shit.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
like they're
I feel like at least that part of it wouldn't be necessary if people were just nicer to each other, but that's just me.
yeah.
It's fine.
The, the one political thing I thought was interesting that made it from the book to the second movie
Hmm.
was at the end where the infected general goes on this big rant as a bug about how like caring for the individual and worshiping the individual is like the path that's gonna destroy humanity, and that the bugs are superior because they don't do that. They don't have individualism,
Hmm.
which is like one of the things he does in the book, which is that he's like, communism literally can't work for humans because humans are wired wrong for communism. They're too individualistic. That's like as he justifies the all the capitalist stuff and whatever. But then he's like, but the bugs are communists because they're evolved, like they evolved communally rather than trying to herd a bunch of individuals into a communal living. Like that.
Yeah.
So like the fact that kind of thought, again, it was awkward. It was came out of nowhere. It was disjointed, like every scene in that movie.
Yeah.
But like I was just like, you did read them. Like
You're like,
again,
so
it
you
didn't.
are coming from somewhere. It's the wrong direction and it's the wrong place, but oh, I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it like again, there was no need for it to actually be the Starship Troopers IP that did that point. Like it's like tons of episodes of Star Trek are about like the validity of individualism versus like a Borg, like
Yeah. Yeah.
so like it's
It's
it's not
the
a new
thing.
idea, but
Yeah, it's the thing
or
that
not a new
makes.
idea anymore.
I mean, one thing about a lot of science fiction movies, especially movies like this, even movies like Interstellar or I don't know, Jupiter Ascending. I could pick that one too. It's
Ah,
fine. I can go good to cheesy. It's okay. I can make
yeah.
this work. But like a lot of those movies are like, you have to be human. You have to love and have someone to love and you
Or
want
you
to
could be kind
save
of like
that
half
person.
dog,
Or
isn't
you can be
that?
half dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that the whole thing was like weird because when they first met, he's like, I'm more like a dog. And she's like, cool. And then they make out and I'm like, is this bestiality? Is this what we're going for right now?
So
Yes? No?
okay, so
Okay.
the D&D rules for whether something is bestiality or not. I don't know if you want me to cover them. You can cut this out later
No,
if you
no, no.
want.
I need to hear
But
this. People
so
need to know this.
so because D&D, it's got all sorts of fantastical creatures, and there's all sorts of nuts. The first issue is, what is the maturation rate of this creature? Is it fully adult? The
Okay.
no banging child of anything. Doesn't
Okay.
matter. That's cut off number one. Number two, can this thing communicate in a way that you can both understand each other? And then, if so, is it giving consent? And then you can bang
Okay.
it. So it's
Again,
like
see, even in D&D, consent is important, guys. Consent is
exactly, but
important.
also, so I would say that the what is it his name? Dunham, the actor?
Oh, who's
Whatever.
in it? It's Channing Tatum.
Oh, it is Channing Tatum. Okay,
Yeah, it
I thought
is. Yeah.
I mixed him up with the other guy. Maybe in anyway, it doesn't matter. I just mixed it up. So yeah, so Channing Tatum, passes all of those tests. So I think making out is totally fine.
It's fine.
He
Okay.
he is an adult half dog man who is able to speak and give consent, and yeah.
I wonder if he's related to Barf, because then that would be cool. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Like, obviously Rip John Candy, but we could have like a whole, when like Yoda goes to the land of the Wookiees,
Yeah.
we have that, but for the weird dog people that are half of them look like Barf and half of them look like Channing Tatum.
I want to go to there. Like seriously, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Would love it. Yeah. Oh my God.
Jupiter Descending 2. Hit us up. I want to see that.
We could see this. That's oh, I mean, talking about movies that lost its way and also didn't know what it was doing. I was just like, the thing is okay. I like the Wachowskis. They have ideas, and that's what I like about them. And they're
Yeah.
not scared of putting their ideas out there. And is Jupiter Sending a good movie? No, it's not a good movie. But I like the idea of the movie, so I don't mind watching it. but I'm always very confused when I watch the movie because it's like one of those like you know finding out who you really are things, right?
Yeah.
And it starts on Earth
She's
like
secretly a space princess.
yeah, and then but it
Yeah.
starts like a serious on Earth action thing, and Chang comes in and saves Mila Kunis and whatever. And then they end up in space bureaucracy, so it turns into Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, like the
Yeah.
Vogons, and you're just like, what is happening, you know? And then it turns into this like weird, because then they go to oh my god, who's the bad guy in it? It's pointy face man. He plays like Luke's commander in he
Give me a
played
second.
Stephen Hawking. Oh, I'm so mad I can't remember his name right now. Uh, I'm refusing to look it up because I should know this. Eddie
Oh,
Redmayne.
okay. There you go.
It's Eddie Redmayne. He plays like the bad guy, but he's like in this like spaceship that's all glass, and he's got like this giant thing, and he's like a space aristocrat. So he's all like shiny with like slick hair, and and he's like talking weird to people and whatever, and it's like it's kind of like have you watched the show Foundation?
I haven't. I've
You
read the
have that
books for a long, long time ago,
a long
but
time ago. But like it's he's like what is it? Like day dusk dawn day dusk or whatever, like the kings of their society or whatever,
right.
where it's just like this weird futuristic place that they live in, and they just sit around sort of like posing and pontificating the whole time, and you're just like what is like you can't even figure out what movie you're trying to make,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with like grabbing influences, but if you completely tone shift whole sections of your movie, you just confuse your audience, because especially the part where they're stuck in like the bureaucracy. Like when I say they're stuck in bureaucracy, like they go to like a desk and they're like, you have to fill out a form, then you have to go this place, and then you have to go into a basement, and then something's stamped by this guy, and then they go over here. And
Okay. Wait.
so,
So I'm just got the Wikipedia pulled up, and when they're doing that, the thing apparently the person who the bureaucrat who confirms Jupiter's title to Earth is Terry Gilliam because they
oh my
made
God.
like it was a Brazil like scene, and they were like, "Can we get Terry Gilliam?" And it was him. That's awesome.
Oh my
I did not know that
God.
as the seal and signet master minister.
Oh, I didn't realize that was actually him. Okay. That's
Yeah.
cool. But this was my problem with that movie. I'm like, you
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
don't know what movie you're making, and you
It's
can't
a
stick with
sloppy
that tone.
mess. I
Yeah.
kind of love it, but also I haven't watched it
I
more than
also have
twice.
I
Yeah,
I know
like
I've actually watched it like 5 or 6 times. Um it's one of those movies I put on, like I see it on TV and it's on, it gets put on in the background while I do other things.
right, right, right. Yeah,
And every
because you
once in a
could
while,
tune in
yeah.
and any given scene is probably delightful, but
Yeah,
you don't
is it wait,
really need to know the continuity.
yeah, isn't Sean Bean in this and
I
he
was just
dies
seeing
and
that.
there's something about bees?
He's a half bee, half
Yeah, like
human,
yeah.
half bee.
Like I don't.
Sean Bean is a bee.
I honestly, I feel like at the time the Wachowskis was like, we're the Wachowskis, we're gonna make a movie, and
I,
people
I
said,
got
here's money.
I,
But
I gotta watch this movie.
if you try to sell, I feel like people who haven't seen this movie and are hearing us talk about it, they're just like, what the fuck are they talking about? I don't know how you would actually sell this movie to people. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
No, like what one of the and it's kind of sad, but like one of the interesting things that some filmmakers do is they like, you know, build up a bunch of cred, um, and then like they go one step way too far, make a sloppy mess because they've got way too much money. But and then like, either they've ruined their reputation or at least they go back to doing indie stuff or whatever. But like I like that those movies are sometimes very interesting because it's like I've got all the money. I don't care what people think, apparently, about what
yeah,
I don't care about what,
it's crazy.
but they'll make all these weird swings, like putting Terry Gilliam in a like Brazil's 10-minute interlude.
What I like, I don't understand how they got money to make this movie when the movie before this that they made was Cloud Atlas. Like, you want to talk about
I have
another
not seen that one.
expensive swing and a miss. Like it's like I understand it's based on a book and it was originally considered to be like a book that could never be filmed. I get it. They were swinging real high for it. I understand this. But like you watch the movie and you're just like the shit is this? Like what? Like it's just I don't know, but the fact that they got money after that to make Jupiter Ascending blows my mind. Like it blows my mind. Like
The
they
Matrix did
real
like
good.
got a yeah real good. Like you make that money a lot, like or you make that money that much money. I think they give you a lot of rope.
Yeah.
Like
But none of their movies have made that kind of money.
right.
Cuz
But
even like
do you want to be the one that turns them down and then it's the next Matrix, right? Like I
oh,
think
that's true. No, you don't
you
want
have
to do
to
that.
you give them four or five. Like yeah.
Because I mean, they did what? Despite the fact that I love this movie, Speed Racer, I love it. I
Yeah.
don't understand why that movie failed. It was such a good movie.
Because I think again it was something people sat down and they were like, "This isn't what I was expecting. This is a different kind of movie than what I expected. I don't know what to do about that." Uh, you know,
Yeah, I think after The Matrix, it was like too bright and too colorful, and they're like, no, no,
yeah,
no. What about the dark and brooding and
right.
everybody is in like S&M outfits? Like, no, no, we're not
It's
doing this
it's
anymore.
it's
Like,
like what you were saying
no.
before, where it's like we wanted the Matrix again. Like
Yes.
we wanted something that looked exactly like it, but wowed us as if it was brand new instead of kind of a bloated sequel. Like we
Yeah.
wanted that again, and then instead they tried something totally different,
That's not
and with
allowed.
in a different style. I don't know. I wanted more Matrix. Like
Yeah.
you know, they
Yeah.
learn about learning the wrong lesson. It's like no, the reason the Matrix was good because somebody took a risk on a weird thing, and then immediately we're like, no more risk.
And that's what made it happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, really, like most of their filmography. So they've got Bound, then the Matrix movies, like
Hmm.
10 things just based on the Matrix. Speed Racer, Cloud Atlas, Jupiter Ascending, and then they did Sense 8. So then they, of course, did like a couple of episodes. And then more Matrix things again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matrix
Yeah. But
Resurrections was not good. Ugh.
no, but the current the movies, they're literally just making them so that the rights don't like
Move over. Yeah.
yeah, like get swallowed up by the company. Like as
Yeah.
long as they churn out a Matrix movie, it's like the old Hellraiser movies where they were just like, as long as we're technically exploiting the rights, they
Yeah.
don't go back to the
Yeah, because I think there's
ex
like 8 Hellraiser movies or some
yeah.
nonsense. Like
But
it's
in this case, it's the reverse, where it was the studio trying to cling on to it with Hellraiser, and in this
yeah.
case, it's the Wachowskis being like, "No, we're not letting you make like the Matrix plus, putting Matrix Space Jam." Uh,
Something. Yes.
yeah.
Imagine another Space Jam movie comes out and they pull in Neo. They're like, "Is this the Matrix? This is the real world.
I
So
haven't
go
seen
play
Space
basketball
Jam
with a
2, but
bunny."
apparently the Droogs from Clockwork Orange are watching the game at some point. Like,
Seriously? Oh
tell me
God.
how you justify putting them into a kids movie, other than just being like, we own this too, don't you know?
Yeah, that's definitely for the parents to like gasp at, and the kids are just like,
Oh,
"What are you talking about? What's happening?" Like it's fine.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to explain them to kids. That's just craziness.
yeah,
Um, I think we got real far away from Starship Troopers,
yeah, yeah.
but
I don't know.
yes. Um, I like rewatching this movie's from 1997, and yes, it used a combination of CGI and like uh practical effects. And honestly, like yes, there are a couple of scenes where especially the CG looks off,
Hmm.
but like it holds up real well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was reading an interview about by Verhoeven gave it a while ago, but he said that like what Phil Tippett brought to the thing was the creature design, like to
Hmm.
make it look like they're actually scuttling, like have all those limbs work, and
Hmm.
and just like be able to move in a like a sensible way in the environment instead of just like, you know, clearly something smeared on the onto a frame afterwards that doesn't like look like it exists in the same space as the actors,
Yeah.
or like doesn't have any weight or doesn't have any like physicality,
Hmm.
because yeah, so apparently he was just amazing at that.
Oh
And so
yeah.
like I think that so it's like the art direction of the special effects made them, I think, a lot more um last longer than just all we do is throw the best technology at it and then hope technology stops developing so people can't date this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's and I think the fact that I mean I think this is the same discussion we have with like Jurassic Park still, right? The
Yeah.
the first one is that if you use a combination of CG and practical effects well,
Yeah.
it just it makes the film look better for longer. And then later on, when even though the special effects may not look as cool anymore, especially the scenes that use practical effects are just like, no, they're right there with it. Like what?
Yeah.
They're in the space.
Yeah.
It just
You
works.
use the strength of each tool, and you like are aware of the weaknesses of each tool, and so you know, if you need a brachiosaur to blow on a couple of kids, you build that brachiosaur.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, you know? Or like there's the actually there's a few scenes with the bugs that just gross me out.
Yeah.
Cuz there's even like the scene in the school at the beginning. Who knew Golden Girls are in this movie? I did. Uh, which I love. I was like, Blanche is here. She lives. It's great. Um
she lives, and she has an opinion. She wants to bring down humanity's opinion of itself.
no, exactly. Um, but I like, like they have like the bugs and they crack them open and they're
Yeah.
very it's very visceral. They're pulling out the insides because it's a science class and they're like, no, you're learning anatomy. It's like, I mean,
Right.
when we went to school, we had to like. I mean, I think when I was in high school, we just dissected a worm. I know lots of people dissect frogs and guinea pigs and
We
all this kind of stuff, but
yeah,
we weren't
we
that
did
far.
a fetal pig.
Yeah.
I had I was really bad about that because I cut the jaws a little bit so that
Hmm.
I could move the jaw, and then I had him
Oh.
singing the Beatles piggies. So everywhere there's lots of piggies, every piggy dies.
That's so wrong.
Yeah,
I think I only did the worm because I didn't do biology past grade 10. I
yeah,
think they had to do the pigs, but it was like grade 9 or 10 we did like the worms and he's like
you're
then they
right.
did the frogs and then they did the pigs like
Yeah.
as they went along. So, yeah, again, I'm really bad at just naming things. I need a reason why they exist. So, that's my whole thing. That's why I'm bad at geography as well. They're like, "No, this place is just here." You're like, "But why is it there?" They're like, "Cuz the people are there." You're like, "Okay." Not helping. But do I know how they constructed a Roman city? Yes, I do. When was it constructed? I have no idea. But I know how it was done, right? It's about the theory of it, not the
Sure.
thing itself. Anyways, but like, so there's like that scene. There's the scene with like, oh, when Xander and oh my God, what's the name? They crash in their escape pod, and then they get surrounded by the arachnids, and then the brain comes out, and like the part where like they suck out Xander's brain, I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that looks so good still. Like it looks so
Oh,
amazing.
and then when she cuts it, and then it's just like oozing goop.
And it like rears back, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Which is
Oh,
yeah, the like whatever that brain eating proboscis is like just like sliced in half, and it's like
yeah.
it's like
Yes.
uh,
It's
apparently
very there's a lot of viscousness in this
yeah,
movie that I forgot about. I was like, this is a lot of texture on my screen right now. I'm not enjoying this.
yeah, yeah. Though apparently for the scenes that were CGI, like a lot of the like bugs walking around,
Hmm.
um it was green screen, not unexpected, but they didn't like fully have the method down for acting against something like that. So
Yeah.
Verhoeven apparently would like menace them with a broom and be like, "I am a big bug, like look up at me and be afraid." Like,
I mean, I have to admit, it worked. Like you
oh yeah, no,
felt
it
their
really does work.
fear. It was
I
like it
mean,
was like a please don't hit me. You hit me like 8 times with this broom already. Please don't fucking hit me. Like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no,
It
and
was great.
probably didn't hurt that. Yeah, as we dis as we discovered, Phil Tipple was there fixing like
All
you
the
know,
things. Yeah.
yeah, doing all that stuff. So like a legend
Yeah.
in the field.
Yeah. Well,
But
because
yeah,
even scenes like when they first land on the bug planet and you have like the giant bugs in the distance shooting
yep,
off the randomer light. Well, they originally think it's randomer light.
yeah,
And like, yes, it's in a distance. Yes, it's clearly CG. And it's probably just like on a green screen and they just like pasted this in. But the way they did it, like, you feel the characters are in the same screen
yeah,
with these things happening in the distance. It doesn't feel like
yeah.
they're disconnected. It doesn't feel like it's clearly CG. Like we know it's CG, but it doesn't feel like it's clearly CG.
Well,
Like
I
you
think
feel the weight of it.
the claw or whatever, the mandible that stabs Rico in the leg, and he's
Oh,
like, it's just, that's a practical effect, and
yeah.
it's just like that one thing. It's like, oh, I saw those a bunch of other times, and now I have this association with it being heavy and hard and like very sharp. Like, suddenly your brain is doing more work uh to make you accept the suspend your disbelief about the CGI because you had this one visceral experience with a practical effect.
Yes. True. True. No, that's
Yeah,
very true.
yeah,
And I think that's also like there's lots of reasons why Starship Troopers 2 is really bad. But like that was also one of the reasons why it didn't work in Starship Troopers 2 because yes, you had the arachnids surrounding them, but they never actually interacted with the arachnids. So you're just
yep,
like, oh, they're just like a thing walking around. Like as far as we knew, these things were 2 millimeters high, except for like three in like a CG set that was clearly not there. And you're like, you're clearly shooting at nothing, and this was put in post. Like it
yep.
was fine. But yeah,
But again,
they
like the
didn't give
director,
you
but yeah,
that.
he just shouldn't have been a full director. Yeah,
Yeah, like it just didn't give you that like weight. It didn't give you that like
yep,
menacingness. But like as you said, the movie opens with us seeing how dangerous these things are and how heavy they are and how big they are. So when they encounter them later, you're just like, "Oh, you need to run away." Like,
yeah,
you know. Yeah. And the one thing I like about the way the movie set up is because the movie just starts with like a news report that's happening and like the reporter gets killed and the camera guy and Rico gets like a thing in his leg and then it cuts back to like the beginning. They're graduating high school
1 year early.
earlier. Yeah. And then that actual scene happens halfway through
Yeah,
the movie. Like for some reason
from a different perspective.
from
That's
a
so much
different
fun.
perspective. And that's what's
Yeah.
so fun about it. It's just like, oh no, you're not just gonna re-show the same thing, or you're not just gonna like, because I feel like some movie makers are just like, no, we
Oh,
can't show the same thing again because it's a waste of time because people already saw it.
like the very beginning of Starship Troopers 2, where they just use a bunch of footage from the
Footage.
first movie.
Yeah, you're just like, come on, guys, come on, like, try a little harder than this. But yeah, like they bring it back, they show it in a completely different way, and then you see that you're happy that he lives because at the beginning you're like, oh, who's this random guy? I'm assuming
Right.
he's dead. And then you're like, oh shit, you're killing your star in the middle of the movie? And they're like, no,
Hmm.
he's fine. He's in the classic sci fi medical tub that has to be completely submerged for some reason. I don't know
Yep.
why, but whatever. That's one thing I never understood about because this happens in like Star Wars too,
Yeah.
where you're like, oh, you have an injury, we're gonna fix it, but you have to submerge your whole body in this random thing.
Yep.
It's not like just stick your leg in some water and hang out. Like,
Yeah.
no, your
No, we,
whole
we have to put
body.
you into a science womb You have to go
Yes.
back into the womb, but made of science instead of woman.
Yeah.
Sorry. You see, I can make anything about gender.
But they do, so
Yeah,
it's fine. But also the scene where he's getting fixed in this tub seems like it just seems like a waste of space. Like I
yeah,
don't know any other way to say it. I feel like that room should have like 10 of these tubs, for
yep.
example, or
Yeah,
something. Like
it's
I don't
just
know.
really spacious. We know they're on a spaceship, or
Yes.
like on a space station instead of like on a planet. So like space is even more. I think there's multiple ways to say space. They're in space, so space is at a premium. Yeah. Anyway, like yeah, but yeah, it's just silly, and also like you built that whole set for that one scene. Like
They never go back to it.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
and we already had established that like a blue cast, like a cast with some little blue liquid on its arm, fixed it
In boot,
um
yeah.
in boots. So like
Hmm.
we could have just done a blue cast there, but no, we need the science fiction tub, heel tub,
Hmm.
and we need but it I
They
do
had the
love
little
that.
robot arms stitching the
Yeah,
things.
but
So.
I do love the three of them coming in and like shouting at him and him like kind of being able to hear, and they're like, "You're dead, man!" And then they've got his like misreported KIA result printed out, which is of course funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the three of them just like clearly drunk, but just like shouting at them, being like, "You're my friend, and I'm visiting you at the hospital."
I'm sorry. I know this sounds horrible, but at that point I'm kind of glad his parents were dead because like his parents would have gotten this notice that their son was killed in action
Yep.
and he's laughing about it. Their friends are laughing about it, but your parents are home crying
Yeah.
about
Well, he
this
doesn't have an aunt
situation.
that wasn't in Buenos Aires, like you know.
I don't know. In it, he says his whole family was
Yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah,
So, maybe they just never moved very far from each other. They were fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, no, that scene was like I get it, it's cool, it's like reminding us it's the future, but at the same time, like this is a waste of space, you guys.
yeah, yeah.
But maybe it's like they
But
only
here's the
have a
thing.
couple of them because
Yeah,
they say that the arachnids there's because they mention it early that like there's almost no wounded, even though
yeah,
there's a whole room of
yeah.
wounded. But I don't. It's fine. Whatever.
Is it bugs don't take prisoners? And then what do we see happen to exactly those two people at the end? They're taken
They're taken
prisoner.
prisoner. Yeah.
Because they're going to be eaten by they're going to have their brains eaten.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and what's crazy in the book is that not only do they take prisoners, but like one of their whole thing is that they're like, we're going to set up a prisoner exchange with the bugs. So we're going to catch some extra brain bugs so that we can swap them for our the POWs that they have taken and are apparently keeping alive. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, maybe
Yeah.
you're
In the
not
book,
telling me all this about the
they're a bit
bugs.
more. They make the bugs like initially more intelligent in the book than they do in the
Yeah,
movie because they do spend the whole movie being like bugs are stupid, bugs are dumb, and you're like, oh, maybe they organize somehow. Now we found
yeah,
out one, and now we'll figure it out.
yeah,
So
yeah. Well, in the book, that apparently they make their own spaceships instead of just launching the um
asteroids.
the asteroids. So no, yeah,
Yes.
it's a like it was a bizarre novel. Like it, is famous for a reason, but also like, it's got some real problems with it.
Mm.
And then like then they made this movie out of it, and like Verhoeven was like creating a satire of itself that no one recognized, and then now it's like kind of spawned this second viewing. It's
Yeah.
an interesting property that never quite doesn't hit quite right ever, but always has something interesting to say about like when it was made.
Yes. Yeah. Because like the movie is definitely a product of the 90s. Like it
Oh yeah,
is it is so heavily 90s, even from like yes, it's supposed to be the future. Yes, they're going to war, but it's kids graduating from high school and they have a high school dance with the worst music ever. And these clearly like
they're
we
gonna
went to the
take you to
mall and bought these
paradise.
outfits. Like, oh my God, that song is I don't understand how they still do it in movies, but as soon as somebody is either the future or they're a hacker, they listen to the worst music for some reason. And I'm not talking about like it has to be like some movies where they're like I'm gonna say it's not like the new Star Trek movies where they're like, oh, they just happen to fall into Beastie Boys. Oh my god, let's play it again to connect with the audience. I'm not saying it has to be that. But you can make music for the movie that sounds good, is
Yeah.
all I'm saying. Is it me? Did you like the song?
No, not really. It
Oh, okay,
sounded
good.
like 90s nonsense.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
And I like a lot of 90s movies or music, but not that particular kind of like we've got or store brand Portishead or something like that.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
God. It's like Portishead went to Kmart and got photocopied 10 times over. And you're just like, no, this isn't working. Gotta go back to the real thing. This is very odd.
If any children are listening, a photocopier was sometimes available at a store because nobody had like
Nobody had one at
phones or
home.
anything. Yeah.
I couldn't take a picture of it with my phone. Okay. Like, we had to like go somewhere, paid 5 cents, put the piece of paper in and close the top, press copy. Yes, it was an
Yo.
issue. Uh oh, I wanted to talk about because I think you mentioned this about the book that it was like it showed you the horrors of war. And I
Yeah.
also found that this movie, not just from the protagonist's view, but like when they would do the news reports, they would blatantly show like the massacre that happened and like the bodies littered everywhere with gaping mouths and in pieces all over the place and like blood and guts and whatever. And every time they showed one of those shots, I was like, they did this too real. I'm not liking this.
Oh.
They did they showed the strewn bodies everywhere look too real. This is a lot.
But it's like really like it's the kind of propaganda that feeds into the same idea as those public executions, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like, look at how terrible our boys were treated. Aren't you mad? Isn't this rage bait? Don't you want to sign up or buy like war bonds or like, be more loyal? Like
Yeah.
because look at what these people are sacrificing for you. Look at what our enemies will do to you if we don't protect you.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
yeah.
it's true. It's true. And the funny thing, like, I'm thinking about that, but the worst practical effect I saw in the movie, and I think this was done purposefully because I think they knew people would be like, what the fuck? Is so after the meteor hits Buenos Aires, they do like a news report and they're showing like the devastation, and then they show like a dog with rebar through it and
Oh yeah.
head off like and whatever. And I was like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, this isn't bothering me because that's clearly a fake dog.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if they originally did it and it looked too real and they're like, no,
Right.
we need to make it look fake enough that people do not get outraged about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
That
think
that
that's what they
seems
did.
that seems probable. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
feel like
can see
that
that
was
happening.
like the worst effect in the whole movie, but I'm like, no, I understand why you did this. This is fine. This is
Yeah. Yeah.
acceptable.
Yeah.
And then the guy after he's like, the only good bug is a dead bug. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. See? Also, I love like speaking of shocking images, at the beginning where they show in the newsreel they show two scientists like pushing a cow into the thing,
Oh,
and then they put censored over the thing while the bug eviscerates the cow, and then at the end where they show um Patrick Harris with the like weird spinning probe and jamming it into the
to the brain fuck, yes.
the brain bug's very suggestive front organ. It's like, and then they put censored over that too. It's really funny.
Yeah. You're like, okay. So you'll show the horribleness of everything. I'm glad they censored it because I didn't want to see any of it either. But at the
Yeah,
same time, I'm like, you're really picking and choosing your censoring right now. I
but
find this
I
interesting.
think that that's Verhoeven being very like being very purposeful about like these are the things that people are squeamish about. Not like we want to protect them from some stuff, but the stuff that we want to use for rage, we have to lay that out in gory detail. And then
Yeah.
like yeah, I speaking of Neil Patrick Harris, I saw an interview where with Verhoeven where he was like, I thought that when Neil Patrick Harris walked out in a full SS uniform, like people would like if people hadn't gotten the joke yet, they would get it then.
They did
But
not.
it did not. Though apparently some people had taken like on set taken to calling him Doogie Himmler when he was
Oh,
wearing that, which is just the worst 90s joke. But like they're like, oh yeah, it's your Nazi outfit. You're
yeah.
dressed up like the Nazi right now. It's like, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That would get you kicked off a set these days. You'd be
But
fired
like
immediately. Yes.
that was Verhoeven was like, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like he's dressed
Like
up
this
as
is
a
the
Nazi
point.
because he's the Nazi.
Yeah.
He's the creepy scientist and like military strategist who quote like sends people like Rico to his death to their deaths every day.
Yeah.
Like,
Actually, oh, that brings up something I wanted to ask a question about. Okay. So yes. So NPH's character sends people to their death, just to like suss out the situation. Sure,
yeah,
without warning. But also, so when the roughnecks are sent to the planet, they're walking through the valley. You've got the guy with the communication thing. He's like he can't get a signal out, right?
yeah,
And you have Radcheck and you have Rico, and they're spotting there's something at the top of
yep.
the valley. They're both paying attention to it. And at the same time,
They're just
Radcheck's
like,
still like, go to higher ground. We're just gonna say, just go up there to see if you can get a signal.
yeah,
And I feel like this was the first time, maybe the second time, where it was just like, wait a second. Wait, did he do that to also suss out the situation? Just to like draw out the
I
bug?
hadn't thought about that.
Because, but that's the thing. I'm
Yeah,
like, I understand they want to get communication, but I feel like if you weren't trying to draw something out, and
yeah,
yes, you do have to go to higher ground to get communication, fine. But why couldn't they weren't far from the station they were going to.
yeah,
Why did he have to send this guy to go there to
right.
then get murdered?
And
To
theoretically,
then,
there's a ship in orbit that they could use as a communication satellite. Like, anyway,
yes,
right? But like, yeah, no, I like that. I like that reading a lot. That he was like actually using the sergeant as a thing. So maybe he wanted Rico to take the sergeant job.
maybe.
It goes back to my theory about Rico killing Ratchet
Yeah.
without
Well, I mean,
thought.
Radcheck did when he did put him in that position, he was fully like, "Did you want to be like my corporal?" Whatever he said. Um, you can be that until you're dead or until I find
Yeah,
a better one. So maybe he
yeah,
was like, "I found a better one, so I guess you're dead
yep,
now."
yeah,
But I don't know if it's like if it was that or if he was just like he was doing exactly what hires up do, which was he needed to do something to properly understand the situation. So, he sent the fodder to be fodder
right,
is
yeah,
is what I'm starting to think about that
yeah,
scene.
yeah.
Um, but yeah. So you did not read it that way.
No, no, I read it
Okay.
as just incompetence. Uh,
Incompetence. Okay, is that
yeah.
is that worse? Isn't that worse?
Well, yeah, no, it's just like a different reading, right? So if he's malicious or if he is like knowingly fine with killing a sergeant, either like, as bait or because he was done with them, like those are
Hmm.
pretty dark ones. But where it's just like, oh, he's really good at inspiring loyalty, but maybe he's not a great lieutenant,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
maybe he's just bad at that, but because the mobile infantry doesn't care. They call it a meat grinder. They're just like, oh yeah, he gets people killed all the time, but people are loyal to him when they're not dead. So we just keep sending him more. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah, he rallies the troops. Therefore, we'll
right.
send him as many troops as he needs.
Exactly,
Just get them
exactly.
out there. Yes.
Yeah. So like, I think all of those you could it's ambiguous enough. You could go with any of those interpretations.
And none of them are good, but they all work for the
Well,
situation.
yeah, but the lieutenant is still the face of the fascist government. So yeah, none of them are
Yeah.
good.
hmm Another thing I wanted to bring up is so in Boot. Well, actually, throughout the movie, they do it a couple of times later on, but the use of the term medic, I thoroughly
Yeah.
enjoyed
Yeah.
because I feel like I know every time medic is called, somebody is injured. I understand this. But the first two times in the movie, while they're at boot camp and, the drill sergeant breaks an arm and throws a knife into another person's hand,
Yeah, he calls a
like,
medic afterwards for a thing he has inflicted. Yeah.
yes. And it's played off as a joke, right?
Yep.
Even the way he calls medic, it's not like he's like, it has to be loud so somebody can hear, but
Clancy
it's
Brown
not
is
a.
so good in
He's
this movie.
so good. He's the best at Mr. Krabs. I get it, but oh, so great in this movie.
Yep.
Um, but he's not calling with like urgency, and it's played off as a joke. But when they do the, as he likes to say, live fire exercise,
Yeah.
fucking love that line. And the one guy gets killed, and Rico has to call for the medic at that
Yeah.
point. And you're just like, so at first you're just like, oh, it's a joke, haha, it's a joke, haha. And you're like, holy shit, it just got real. It
Yeah.
just got fucking real.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. And the effect, speaking of practical effects, of his head getting shot,
Oh
it just
yeah.
turns into a wet
It's
stack. It's
oh
so
god.
good.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
also it
Like,
shows like the bullets that they're using for these bugs are so intense that they will blow you apart if you get hit by one of these things.
and these bugs still take like a million shots
Right?
because you're
Oh
not
my
aiming for the nerve center like
god.
Neil Patrick Harris told you
Yeah,
to.
you have to trap it in a cage, keep it in a corner, point at this
Right.
exact point, and it's
Yeah.
so easy. You're like, is
It's
it? Stinks.
it's real easy to keep your hand steady when you're in zero danger.
Yeah, exactly. You
Like
haven't been running for your life for the last 3 hours, but
you're
it's
not
fine.
pumped up full of just like combat adrenaline, even if you are like not afraid, but you're just like thrumming with like oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Yeah, yeah. It's still hard to shoot then, but
I do have one more point I want to bring up.
yeah,
One more. As with shows in the 90s, they're slightly starting to get better with it now, but not really. Like Rico and Neil Patrick Harris and all that kind of stuff, they're supposed to be teenagers,
yeah.
right? And they're clearly 30. Like, it's fine.
Well,
It's fine.
Casper Van Dien was like he was on 90210, so he was probably already old for like a teenager,
Yes,
like on
exactly.
90210, and then they hired him as a teenager for like
So go
after
like you
that.
played a teenager already, so you're gonna work. It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was born in 1969. Yeah, he was 29 years old when he did
yeah,
that movie. Like seriously. Um but like but later on in the movie, like so they get trained, they're put out there, blah blah blah. And at the end of the movie, they get new recruits. And I
yeah. They're
like
all
and
tiny.
they're like, look at these kids. And I'm like, oh, they actually hired actual teenagers for this scene. Because they
Yeah,
actually look like kids,
yep,
And I was like, hey, that made me feel real sad. Because I'm like, oh, they're really sending children to the slaughter. But also it's like, oh, finally, actual kids. Got it. Let's do this.
yeah.
This is it. But yes, that was my
I
last
just
note,
looked
I
it up.
think.
Yeah, the that while they were both like way too old, or I'm speaking to Denise Richards and Casper Van Dien, like they were both way too old to play teenagers. They they were at least appropriately aged for each other, by Hollywood
Yes.
standards.
Yes. She's
Six,
actually she's oh no, she's younger.
68 and
Never mind.
71.
One, yes.
Yeah, but like, within like actual high school range of dating each other, not graduating the same year, but like, holy shit, they didn't like cast a teenage woman and Casper Van Dien.
Right? Exactly.
Like
Which is a thing they like to do.
they love to do that.
Yes. Trying to see how old Dina Meyer is. She's the same age as Casper Van Dien. Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. She's also born in 1968. So yeah, oh my God, they hired age appropriate women for the men. This is shocker.
Neil
Okay.
Patrick Harris was the youngest of the four of
What?
them.
That's crazy. I do
I didn't look up Xander, but yeah.
let's see. Let's see Xander. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. He is also 1968. They're all
There
around
we
the same
go.
age. Yeah. That's crazy. I love that.
That's
Like, I
nice.
think this now, that's crazy. But I'm like, no, this is
Yeah,
correct. This is
right.
proper.
Yeah, but it's just shocking for like a schlocky movie in the 90s with way too much budget to be like, oh, they got over the extremely low bar. Like,
Yes. They're
I
like,
was
this
not,
is just the one thing you had to do. Good job, guys.
yeah,
Yes. But yeah, no, because like now you have movies like, I don't know, what's a horrible pairing? Oh, uh, I never finished watching this movie, but the thing that threw me off the most about it was Javier Bardem is husband to Jennifer Lawrence in Mother, and I was like, this is gross. Like
oh,
automatically, I was like, this is gross. But then the movie started, and I was like, this is boring, and I don't care, and I turned it off. So I'm not allowed to complain about it. That's fine.
definitely watched that movie, but I think Leah and I were drinking, so I don't have a, and it was very surreal. So I feel like it was I was not interested enough in it to revisit it.
Yeah,
Uh, it's like nothing was grabbing my attention. And also, yeah, I was just like, not really paying attention.
yeah.
So,
So yeah, just run away from it. It's fine. Yeah, like even, every once in a while, like I watch a movie, I'm like, oh, I'm not really into it, but I'm like, I know there's something here, so I just need to be in like a
right.
mood or maybe, more awake or something, and I'll come back and I'll watch it. But like, I watched part of that movie and I was like, I will never even bother trying to look at you ever again. Like, I have no
Yeah, you're kind
interest
of
in
watching it and
this.
you're just like, okay, maybe if I was in a different mood, or I can see they're doing something interesting here. I don't know. I didn't. Those moments didn't occur uh, to me in like the first act, and so when we left the movie on, but the attention and focus
Yeah, we're
drifted.
gone. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy I did that for Starship Troopers because like I said, when I first watched it, I remember not liking it.
yeah,
But like it was enough for me to like, came on TV and I was like, you know what? I will give it another shot. Maybe I was too
yeah.
young when I saw it. I have a better understanding now about these kinds of movies.
Well, and
Let
also
me give
like
it a shot.
if it's on like actual network TV, which I assume you're talking about, like it's just
Mhm.
like it's pretty good for a TBS movie. It's not very
Yes.
good for like, a big theater. Like if you didn't like it the first time, you're like,
Yeah.
it wasn't the worst. I'll throw it on instead of like listening to silence. You know?
Yes, exactly, exactly,
Yeah,
And I think it was one of those things I threw it on and I was like, "Oh no, I'm interested in like watching this. Like what
right.
is happening?" And then I was like, "Oh, I get it now. It's a joke. Got it. This makes so much more sense now." It's like it's one of those things. Like it triggers and you're just like whatever. But also the thing we actually experienced this relatively recently, but because we saw Starship Troopers, it showed at the Review Theater in Toronto.
Oh
We
yeah.
went to go see it. And this movie at the end is such good propaganda that you feel pumped at the end of this movie.
Well,
You are
watching it in a
pumped.
group of people, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, yeah, we are gonna win. We're gonna beat those bugs.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Uh, you know. And he what does he yell? He's like, "Come on, do
Come,
you want to live forever?" I'm like,
come on, you
"No."
apes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're just like, I want to run out with them too. But
Yeah.
I would be like, in the first battle when they get out there, and the girl who
Yeah.
said she's like, I'm here because I want to have babies, and
Yep.
immediately she screams and runs away and has like the most horrible death. That would
Yep.
definitely be me.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be
Me
me.
too. 100%. I would probably actually wash out in boot camp, but like if I made it that far, yeah, that would be me. Uh,
Yeah, Rivoli go like they play Rivoli at like what 5 o'clock in the morning and stuff. I'd be like, is there a snooze? Like
yeah,
what?
yeah,
I don't what? I just went to bed. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, actually, no, this is fine. I'm just gonna not do this.
I'm gonna go. They'd be like, "Oh, you're washing out? That's lame. That's sad." I'd be like, "Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Bye."
back to my Harvard and then my like super rich lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna,
And my
yeah,
my parents are gonna send me to Zegama Beach.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not there anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my God. That reminds me. Speaking of, so I did end up watching one episode of the animated series today. It
Oh,
was it was hard to find it, but the first episode of the series was on YouTube, so I watched the first
cool.
episode. Um, and oh, you talk about the animation has not aged well. I mean, it was one of those like early fully CGI'd shows,
Yeah,
but they had like quote unquote realistic people, like they were supposed to be people.
yeah,
And so of course the faces are the thing that are the worst, that have
yep,
aged the worst. But like
yeah,
they
yeah.
have faraway shots of them in like their suits and they're walking around and like they see the bug in the far distance and like sometimes, a bug puts a foot down and it clearly is somewhere through a mountainside for some reason.
Hmm.
But whatever. And like the vehicles are cool and whatever. And I was watching, I was like, this is still better than the $7 million movie. That's all I kept thinking.
Yep. And came up
Um,
before it too. 99 to 2000, it looks like.
yes, yeah, it
Wow.
came out before it, and I was like, if I feel like that show had like a pretty minimal budget, and they still managed to make 40 episodes. I remember watching all of them. I know there is an episode where they go to Zegama Beach, and apparently it's like by the rings of Saturn or something. I don't know. And like Rico makes a comment that's like, "Oh, my parents, I was supposed to come here on vacation or something,"
Right.
and it's like overrun by bugs and whatever. I remember that. But I was looking at it and I was like, I feel like I would be able to still rewatch this show because at least the setup, which is a little bit different than the movie, and the story they're trying to tell is there
Hmm.
and it makes sense, even though it's ugly as shit. But
Right.
I think it would still work.
Yeah.
Also, for some reason, they changed Radchek to Razik. I didn't understand why they would do that because everybody else. So Dizzy is there, and Rico is there, and what's Neil Patrick Harris?
Dizzy's alive?
Yeah. So based on the setup, the show is set up that it is Dizzy and Rico's first drop onto a planet.
Okay.
And there's a young guy who's a reporter, and you're seeing it from his point of view. So he's recording like what they're doing, and they're with Razek's roughnecks for some
Right.
reason. And so Razik is or Radchek, whoever you want to call him, is still there, and Carl shows up as like the psychic, and like the rest of the boot guys are making fun of him. And like yeah, and they go on like a mission in the first episode, but it's like Dizzy and Rico's first mission
Right.
that they're going on.
That's cool.
So I was like, you know what? It's sure it doesn't follow the timeline of the movie or anything, but I'm like, no, they've set up the show, they've set
Yeah.
up these characters, and we're just gonna follow them as they shoot at bugs. And they do have like a little bit of interstitials with like the like, would you like to know
Would
more?
you like to know
Like
more? Yeah.
they do have it in there. Um, but like it's a good setup, and I feel like
Cool.
this would be like a decent movie to watch if you could get over the visuals and just follow the story. It would be fine.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
might check this out because
Yeah.
like I've been watching very slowly, but like the original 1979 Gundam series, let me
Mm-hmm.
tell you some visuals that have not particularly
Age.
aged well. Like some of them have, but some of them
Okay.
have not. Like there's definitely like, oh, there's the Hanna-Barbera reuse of the exact same scene.
Yes.
There's the,
It's always like the run sequence over like uh like a sponge painted background. You're just like, okay, there it is again. Sure. We'll go
yeah,
with it. Yeah. I love those. Especially like
yeah. Anyway, that is to
yeah.
say, like I could watch a show about that was interesting, even if it had visuals that don't hold up anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I actually think you would like it. I feel like you would find it interesting.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
cool.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I didn't track down like Starship Troopers 3 and 4 and 5 or
Yeah, yeah,
around
yeah.
there. I did not do all of that. Especially after watching 2, I was like, I'm not gonna try.
Yep.
I
No,
can't be disappointed this hard again. This is not gonna
well,
work.
yeah, it's like yeah, we got the satire out in the first one.
Hmm.
We don't really need to work more in this particular universe. You can do something else, sci-fi related, even
Yeah.
fighting bugs related. Doesn't have to be Starship Troopers. Just have your own idea.
Yeah, but that's what I feel. I feel that way about a lot of um movies that are based on old properties. Like they make the movie and it's a fine movie, but I'm like, but why is it here? Like this
Right.
doesn't it
Yeah.
doesn't belong. Like even like Live Free or Die Hard. I actually think that's a decent action movie. Like it's a very basic decent action movie. But like you're like this didn't have to be a Die Hard movie. This could just be
Mm,
like, cop and nerd save the world. Like it's
right.
fine. It could just be whatever it wants to be.
Yeah, which is why I think Starship Troopers 1 is interesting because I don't think it could like it needs to be Starship Troopers to engage with or at least it is engaging directly with the text and being like, we didn't write a movie and then slap Starship Troopers on it. We
Hmm.
wrote a movie about this book and our reaction to it and how it makes us feel. And
Yeah.
you know, um, and maybe uh, y'all should learn about irony.
I think we're finally getting there. I think
Yep.
so.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you have any like I mean I feel like I took up all the time, but did you have any
No,
like specific things you want to like cover or talk about these movies?
I'm just skimming my notes. The only things, so I've just got a couple of things that I wanted to. I was like, "Ha, that's fun," and these are from the second movie because I was again trying to engage with it.
Yeah.
Like, I need that. Like, I'm not enjoying it on its own merit, so I have to start like looking for things to enjoy. But
Yeah.
the fact that like right at the beginning, again, when they're like supposed to be in a battle, but like one, it wasn't shot for HD. Uh, and two, it's like they have no budget, so they're shooting super super close. So like it's like
Yes.
two heads on screen, and they're like, "There's a war going right off screen, off camera. Oh my god, we're in the middle of a pitched battle. That's right. I wish you could see it, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, and
so that was
it's like gray
yeah,
mist in the background or
yeah, yeah,
something and like
yeah,
nothing's
yeah. Just
going on.
just generic mist, so it could be any distance. Like there's no
Yeah.
horizon or anything. Yeah. Um. Uh. They have the long guns, like in Aliens. So
Oh
like in the
yes.
first movie, they just got the like, big chunky rifles, but then they have the underslung machine guns
Mhm.
in two. Uh. Um. I love when they fired up the reactors. There was like a just a 00 blinking like somebody needs to reset the timer or the clock on a VCR. I thought that was like that's a good joke. Like
That's a good one.
the
Yes.
reactor turns on, it's like boop, boop, boop. Um and oh, and then the eating sugar, all the bugs, they eat sugar
Hmm.
like in Men in Black. Sugar, sugar with water. Except they're
Oh,
just
that's right.
crunching on sugar cubes.
The visceralness of this reminded me of Men in Black. as well because it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
they
goofy.
like to make the bugs real goopy and slimy and
Yeah,
like bugs on the inside are goopy, but bugs on the outside are pretty dry. Like I don't know why they were making everything so visceral, but all right, it was fine. I was like,
yeah,
just don't touch me. It's ugh. Yes.
yeah. No,
Um,
I thought I feel like I've got everything I wanted to get across. I mostly was like adding my points in reaction to yours. I feel like you let me go off on weird tangents a bunch, so I'm good.
I feel like I had surprisingly too much to say about these movies, but it's okay.
It's like this is one of the things, whether it's like high art or not. It's a movie that's worth talking about and makes like creates conversation, even if those conversations spin off into other directions. Like it's
Yeah.
worth talking about. A lot of movies aren't.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
movies that are quote unquote better are like that was entirely competent,
Hmm.
and then it just slides out of your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that is the saddest level of movie where you're like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
And then like, 6 months later, just like, did I watch that? I think I saw it.
I
And then you
remember
never
kind
talk
of
about it
liking it.
again. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas like a movie like this is clearly like, oh, Starship Troopers, oh, so good. I like the part where like you and you just like break it down in your brain and you got to talk to
yeah.
people about it.
You have thoughts about it. You might hate it, or you might like have a weird reaction to it, but you have
Mhm.
thoughts about
Or
it. Yeah.
even if you don't get it, you're just like, what was with this part? Like, it
Right.
was like so important, clearly, because they like zoomed in on it. But what was it? Like, what was that about? At
Yeah.
least you got a thing, right? But it's great. Yes,
Yo.
I like it. So I guess final thoughts, like, would you recommend Starship Troopers to the audience?
Yeah, yeah. Starship Troopers 1, especially in, the continuing development of world politics. I think it's more poignant than ever.
Yeah. Agreed. What about Starship Troopers 2?
No, completionists run only if you're doing 100%.
Yes, agreed, agreed. Like if
Yeah.
you like as a franchise, no, but as a single movie, the first one, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Mind you, I can't really complain about 3 and 4 and 5 because I haven't watched it, so I can't really say. But two is a hard jump off point after one. Like it's difficult.
Yep.
Yes. Well, Mike, thank you so much for coming on
Thanks
this
for having
week.
me on another sci-fi gabathon.
Yes. Per usual, I like you here for like the weird sci-fi things that we can, that have some sort of political intrigue of some sort. I mean,
I love to say things confidently without a lot of backup.
that's the best way to say it.
Hey, I'm a dude on a podcast. That's what we do.
So true. All right. We'll have to get you back again per the usual, but yeah, we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye. Well, that's it for this episode of Off My Shelf. Until next time, you can follow along on Instagram and Blue Sky at Oh My Shelf, or you can send an email to ohmyshelf@gmail.com. This episode was produced and edited by me, Tracy, with original theme song by Ori Falconer. If you want to support the show, like, subscribe, and leave a comment wherever you listen to this podcast. Come back next time to see what falls off my shelf.